Good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are, guys. Let me just get rid of this here for, again, when I'm starting up Screencastify, it seems that I can only start it up with nothing open except my Chrome browser, but at least that seems to be a solution for me. Okay, so this will be video 2 of September 7th, so let me hide this and open up my Blackboard here. Okay, in the first video this morning, 15-minute video, we did a review of special triangles. Now we're going to look at the unit circle and then multiples of the special triangle around the unit circle. This will take us 2 days, okay, probably. So today and tomorrow, I'm thinking. Just let our notebook boot up. So we're going to talk about the unit circle today in this one video, and I'll try to keep this one around 30 minutes or so, no more than that. And that'll be what we are complete today. So let's get this set up here. I really wish I could do some of this stuff previous and have it open, but I guess I could save it and then open it up. That's what I'll do. Okay, so September 7th, still in Pre-Cal 30. Still day 2 of the first unit, which is this. And we're going to look today, again, sorry guys, I kind of shoved it by the picture there. And we're going to look at today, I'm just going to fix that. There we go. So today is September 7th. And this video is day 2 of the first unit, and it's going to be the unit circle. And we're going to do 2 things today. We're going to look at the equation of the unit circle. And we're going to use that equation to calculate points on the unit circle. Okay. So that's the only 2 things we're going to do in this video here. For us now, there's 4 of us online, including my 3 kids here. So I think just make sure I got you. I got Braden, had you last year. I got Shade, I had you last year. Cody, you're new for me this year, and Julia also new for me this year. Just make sure that you guys, if you're not understanding, you get in contact with me. I will do my best to get back to you. Lots of questions is always good. Shade, Braden, you guys worked with me. You kind of know how it rolls. It's a little different this year. You're not live, but you can always, you have my phone here. You can always, hang out me, give me a quick chat or something like that if you have a quick question. And if I need to, I can make a video for you and get an answer to you. Okay, so the equation of the unit circle. So if we take the origin, I'm going to draw the origin here of the Cartesian plane, okay? So we'll put it here. And if we pop a circle in there that has a center at 0, 0, okay? Oops. So go at the origin here and make a circle like this. Okay, now when we're talking a unit circle, it has the origin as its center and it has a radius of 1. So let's put the definition up here right beside our little drawing here. So a unit circle is a circle that has its center at the origin and has a radius of 1. Okay. Now the equation of the unit circle, we think about it, if we put a radius in here. Okay, so we'll draw a little radius in the first quadrant like that. So this is 1 here. So I'll just use my marker and put it in there. That radius there, we'll label it little r. And that's going to be, I should have made it a little bigger picture. Move this up a little bit. Okay, so that's r, and that's equal to 1. Okay, so now if we look at it, we can make a right triangle there, and we can go and get an equation for the unit circle. Okay, x squared plus y squared equals r squared, and r is equal to 1. Right? So if we had a little triangle in there, and we'll do it in a different color here. Let's do it with straight lines so it looks okay. With an arrowed straight line, and we'll do it in blue here, or green, sorry. So if I go out and do a projection up to where that would be, and I do another projection in a different color here. Okay, if I got that, that's a 90-degree angle. So there we have, to get to that unit circle, we have to go x squared plus y squared equaling this 1. So there's an equation for the unit circle. So if we call this, using the green here, if we call this our x, my penmanship needs improvement here, boys and girls. And this one y. We can then use the right triangle Pythagorean theorem to get the equation for this edge of the circle here, this point. Go that way squared, and that's going to equal that squared for that point. So we know the equation of the circle, of the unit circle, is this. Excuse me for a sec, I'm going to check that. In case it's somebody asking me questions, pretty early here. It's only, 4 minutes to 8, so, but I better check just in case. Oh, just telling me that my first video I made for you guys this morning went up online. Okay, good. Okay, so we've got it there. So it's basically x squared plus y squared equals r squared, which is 1. So 1 squared we know is 1, so we can simplify that. So this is the equation of the unit circle. So if you're keeping that formula sheet that you're making, that's it. That's you're going to make for the exam, or you just make it a formula sheet, and then you can, through the year, and then when we get to the final exam, you can look at it and make it better and add some things in and whatever you need. Not a bad idea. This is the equation of the unit circle. Do I allow you to put the equation of the unit circle over top of it? Yes, I do. I don't mind informational sheets. I am really interested in you being able to do problems, not memorize things. And if you can look and use the equation and use it properly, that's the important part of math. For me, that's my philosophy anyway. Okay, so that's the equation of the unit circle. So now we're going to look at our second point in this video is, okay, let's calculate points on the unit circle. Is this a point on the unit circle? Find the other point on the unit circle. There's two kinds of questions here. So we'll look at these two kinds of questions. And then that's our stopping point for today. I'll give you a couple small practice questions to look at. We won't get to deriving everything around the unit circle till tomorrow with the special triangles, okay? That'll happen probably tomorrow. Okay, so let's go ahead and use this equation and the unit circle idea to calculate for ourselves points on the unit circle, okay? So let's go ahead a page, and we're going to look at two different kinds of examples here. But our main title is, these are questions or examples of calculating points or proving points or slash, I guess we should go back and say calculating slash checking. Points on the unit circle. Okay, so the first one, the easier one is checking. So type 1, checking a point to see if it is on the unit circle. Okay, so the best way to do it is just an example. So let's use one here that I am. Let's see what's it. Let's use root 5 over 8. I'm gonna have to use the marker so that because this program doesn't have all the math type stuff on it that sometimes you like. Okay, and again, I'm gonna have to just get this to the right setting here. There we go. So let's say that my point is root 5 over 8 for the x point, comma, for the y point, we'll say it's negative 7 over 8. Okay, and we'll say, is this on the unit circle? Question mark. So it's pretty easy. Oh man, sorry guys, I'm forgetting I put the picture in the top corner this time. So we'll just, basically this is just, this word here is checking, and this is examples. Okay, and I got type 1 checking a point. If you print it off the notes, you'll see it, but I'm sorry about that. Just as a side note here, I know for a fact that you can print the notes off, look at them, write on them, but as long as you're engaging and writing some things down, that will help you develop a memory pattern a lot better than if you just watch and kind of read. Reading and watching is okay, but it really does help by engaging physically, by writing and stuff. That's why we always teach us, make you write notes all the time and stuff like that. So it's a good idea, even if you're printing my notes out, put your own little notes in there as well. And if you're not doing that, if you're taking your own, that's even better. Okay, so let's check this. So apologize for cutting those off a little bit. I do want you to see me though. Then you can recognize me if you see me around. If you get a chance, I've seen some of you guys before, but if you get a chance, make a little screencast video asking me a question and pop it to my email so I can actually see who you are. I kind of like that. So then if I run into you, I can say, how's it going, or something like that. So all we do here, I get on sidetracks a lot, as you can probably see. All we do here is we check this to the equation. This is the x point, and this is the y point. So we just check it into x squared plus y squared is equal to 1. That's what we have to do. So we go root 5 over 8 squared plus negative 7 over 8 squared equals 1. Okay, so if we do this, okay, so when it's fractions, you got to square the top and the bottom. Root 5 times root 5 is root 25, which is 5. And 8 times 8 is 64. Plus, negative 7 times negative 7 is positive 49 over 64. Okay, so we go 49 plus 5. That is 50-something, 54 over 64. So this is not true. So we can say, really. So no, it's not on the unit circle. Not on the circle. Okay. And that's all you have to do for those questions. So I'm going to give you one to try it. Okay, so I'll give you another one here. And then you do the check, pause the video, do the check, and then unpause the video and I'll pop the answer up. Okay, so try this one here. I'm just going to use 4/5 and 3/5, negative 3/5. We'll go with another negative 3/5. Okay, so check that one. So pause the video at this point, check it, and then unpause it, and I'll be doing the solution for you. Okay, so if you tried it, all you did was go x squared plus y squared equals 1. Okay, so that would be 4/5 squared plus negative 3/5 squared equals to 1. Okay, so this would be 4 squared is 16, 5 squared is 25, plus negative 3 times negative 3 is 9/25 equals 1. Then we add 16 and 9 is 25. 25/25 equals to 1. And 25/25 is 1. So yes, this is on the unit circle. And there we have an example, that one that's on and one that was not on the unit circle. Okay, so now we'll go into our second example type. So I'll go on a new page here. Okay, yeah, I should, because I've used up quite a bit of space here. Okay, and I'm going to go on to the second type of question is calculating a missing point. Okay, so this one was using it to calculate and check. This is a checking thing, so you're just plugging in numbers. The next one is you're going to calculate the x or y. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll do that. I'm checking my time here. Okay, not too bad. It should take us a few minutes to do an example like this, and then that'll be it for today. Okay, so let's go to the second page. Okay, and this is type 2. And I'll see if I can type it better and not stick it behind my portrait of myself. Okay, there. Okay, there we go. This will be better this time. Type 2. Finding the missing y or x value, a point on the unit circle. Okay. And this is example. Let's say we have this point here. Let's say it'll go something like this. So I'm going to go down here because so if you have the point x, comma, 3/4. Find x if the point is on the unit circle. Okay, so one thing I'm going to show here, I'm just going to draw a little sketch. You don't always have to do the sketch part of this, but I'm going to do it for our first example because it helps explain things. So let's get that about there. And we'll draw a little unit circle here. Oh, I want this to be non-arrow. I want it to be clear. Okay, let's make it solid. There we go. Okay. So I'm not going to make a big picture. I'm just going to make a little one, and I'll put a circle in there. Okay, so my point is x 3/4. So x 3/4 can be, the interesting point is x can be a positive or a negative. 3/4 y is always going to be above the x axis, right? So it can be here with positive x. Whoops, I'm moving that. I don't want to do that. Got the wrong one here. I want the line thing. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. So it can be here. Okay. So, or it can be here. Okay. And these should be at the same height. So this point, if I take my marker out here, this point could be x 3/4. See, y is 3/4. And this, if this is 1, so it's lower than 1. Okay, and it could be x 3/4 over here, where x could be negative. It can't be down here or down here because that would be negative 3/4. So there's always two answers to this, a negative and a positive value of each of the x's or y's. Okay, and the reason is when you square root 25, for example, there is two possible answers. The square root of 25 could be positive 5 or negative 5. That's why. So all we do is we just check this point in the unit circle equation. So the unit circle equation is x squared, which we don't know, plus y squared, which we do know, is equal to 1. So we just square the y. So this is x squared plus 9 over 16 equals 1. Now, this is where people get mixed up on fractions. Okay, well, we just have to subtract 9 over 16. So 1 is the same thing as saying 16 over 16. 16/16 is 1. So we can write this as x squared plus 9 over 16 equals 16 over 16. Okay, and now we can just use the fractions to get our answer. X squared is equal to 16 over 16 minus 9 over 16. Okay. So if we go 16 to subtract 9, we get our answer of 7 over 16. But that's not our answer of the equation. Okay, it's the answer for x squared. So we have to root it. So how we root that is we take root 7 plus or minus root 7. Okay, we can't, root 7 is not a perfect square, but the bottom is a perfect square over 4. Okay, now we can plus or minus the 4, but generally speaking, you know how fractions work. If you have a positive on the top and a positive on the bottom, it's positive. If you have a negative on the top or bottom, it's negative. So all we need to do is put the plus or minus on the top like that. So our answer is plus or minus root 7 over 4. So this would be the minus, this would be the plus. So x equals plus or minus root 7 over 4. Okay, just like the last question, the last thing I'll do for you today is I will get you to do one, and then you pause the video. I'll give you one, you pause it, and then give me, work it out, and then check it out by starting the video back up. And then I'll give you a couple practices from the text in this area, and that'll be it for today. Okay? All right, try this one. Try, I'll change colors here. Let's go to green here. Try, okay, let's say let's do a y for you this time. Let's say x is, let's get one here that'll, sometimes in the book they tell you which quadrant it is, so then there's only one answer, right? Let's say, I'll just make one up. What the heck? Let's say x is 1/2 and y is unknown. So find the y both y's. I could tell you, I could say, hey, okay, it's in quadrant number 4 or quadrant number 1 because that's where x is positive. But those are the two. So pause the video and then work it out. Okay, give it a try. So let's do the little sketch here. Let's do it freehand. See how my circle drawing is. Okay, so 1/2 x would be, so it's going to be here or here, right? 1/2 and y, 1/2 and y. Okay, so that means that the y can be positive or negative. Now, if they tell you which quadrant it is, it'll just be this one or that one, but depending on the question, okay? So what you got to do then is you just take that unit circle equation like we were doing before. That's x squared plus y squared equals to 1. Okay, and we plug in our numbers here. So we know the x this time. We don't know the y. We leave that blank, and we put in the 1 there. So this one, half squared, that's easy. 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, so 1/4 plus y equals 1. Okay, now we got to do our fraction skills again. So you got to make sure that you know that 1 is the same as 4/4. So you go 1/4 plus y equals 4/4. Subtract the 1/4 from both sides and you get 3/4. Oh, sorry, I forgot to put the square in there. Ooh, that could have been a bad one. Okay, and then we got to take the root of it. So taking the root 3 plus or minus, and the root of 4 is 2. So plus or minus 3√2. So y equals plus or minus √3/2, sorry. Okay, and this is where I'm going to stop today. I'll give you a couple practice, each with this unit circle stuff. Okay, so this is on page 186. Okay, and you want to try 2ACE. There's 3 there. Even that's quite a few, but and 3 ACE, and that gives you 3 of each kind that we did as examples. Okay, so in the sense that, let me center myself a little bit. In the sense that hopefully I didn't go too long on that. So keep in mind with pre-cal, try a few of the questions. I'll always put some at the end. Let me know if you haven't contacted me yet. Let me know if you'd like me to type them in the Moodle, or if it's okay for me to just write them at the end of the video, the last video of the day. Which way you prefer. Right now I'm just writing them in with my notes here. Okay, so hopefully that's working. Okay, good luck. Give these 2 a try. Day 2 is over, and tomorrow will be day 3, and we'll be looking at the unit circle again, but we'll be looking at using those special triangle points and deriving them all the way around the unit circle. Okay, have a good day, depending on when you watch this, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.